Howdy, what's up? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to make a quick video to talk about the shortages. I have been seeing so many articles, videos shared saying that we need to expect a lot of shortages. And I think it's fear mongering, unintentional fear mongering. So we're going to talk about that today. Y'all like my chicken shirt? It looks like Albert Eckstein. My chicken. Okay, I have this wrote down. We're going to talk about this, okay? We are experiencing shortages, and they are as follows. Chickpeas, wheat products, all supposedly from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I don't know. Okay. Aluminum, pet food, formula, mayonnaise, lettuce, beef, and orange juice. So they want us to panic. They want us to panic buy and put more strain on the supply chain. Don't. I know it's kind of scary. It is scary. Food insecurity freaks me out. Food insecurity could be from many things. It could be from lack of funds. But it also can be because shortages. And y'all know that stuff like freaks me out totally. So I took this list to my local Wally World, Ingles, Aldi, and Food City. I went exploring. So I looked at the chickpea selection. They were all full. The dried and the canned. Wheat products look no different than they have the past 2 years. There's some spots that are missing product, but are they missing tons that I would say, oh, it's a shortage? No, not here anyways. Aluminum is used in canned food, in sodas, things like that, like the pet food. Now, did I see a difference? I did not see a difference, but the regular is not that great. So pre-pandemic, the shelves were completely full. Now they are not, but that's the normal now. Now there was one of every product, but was it sparse? Yes. Any different than the past 2 years? No. Pet food. Pet food is a really big shortage that I have been seeing, and I've been witnessing it myself. I don't have any dogs or cats because Ryder is allergic and we can't have those, but by golly, I have noticed. I've even done a few videos where I showed you guys like the shelves in my area of the pet food. Now the pet food is a little sparse, but it's no different than before. It's been like this for a good year and a half, maybe 2 years, where it's just hit or miss. Some weeks they don't have a single bag on the shelf, and then the other weeks it's never full, but it's like halfway full. Baby formula. You remember a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I'm not quite sure because I have no sense of time. Just how I am. But there was a really big formula shortage, and the shelves were completely bare for weeks, and mothers were panicking, rightfully so. And by the way, I just want to address this real quick. There's people during that shortage would tell mothers that they should, oh, you should just breastfeed. You wouldn't have anything to worry about. Okay, we're not going to do that. All right. And let me tell you what. Some women have had breast cancer and they have had mastectomies, meaning they get their breasts taken off. All right. When they have that done, they cannot breastfeed. Their mammary glands are gone. They can still have children, but they cannot produce milk for that child. Formula is needed in those cases. Families who adopt, foster, they all need formula. Sometimes babies cannot digest the mother's milk and they need a special formula. Okay? Single fathers who are raising babies, they can't breastfeed. Formula is absolutely 100% needed. So what we're not going to do, we are not going to shame other parents for choosing to feed their babies formula. Fed is best, right? That's what I think anyways. And if you're like me, I breastfed every one of my babies, but I couldn't do it solely breastfeeding. I did not produce enough milk for Ryder, Braden, or Kylan. We had to supplement. They were starving. I wasn't good at it. Formula is needed. And my local area, I checked it all out. It looked the same as it has the past couple months. There are some spots that are hit or miss. Some brands are gone, but there's formula. It's maybe, I would say, 60% full. So there's not a difference right now. Mayonnaise. According to my research, mayonnaise production has went up 18.2% because egg costs. And there were, what was it? They said the bird flu, and there was a bunch of the facilities that produce our eggs burnt to the ground. Crazy, right? So production costs went up. So mayonnaise is gonna go up in price. There's supposed to be a shortage of mayonnaise. Lettuce. Oh yeah, there is a really big shortage of lettuce because sometimes I go to the store and there's zilch. There was some at each store, but it wasn't full. It was just here and there. But that's how it's been for a year and a half now with the whole lettuce thing. So I don't see difference in that. Beef. Our beef selection is full. Here anyways, in East Tennessee. What is it looking like in your area? I'm curious. Is it sparse? Is it empty? Every section of beef full. It is completely full. There is nothing not there. There is no empty spots at all. Orange juice. Our orange juice selection, it's full. But what has happened, it's not hit yet. We should be expecting it in the future. Hurricane Ian destroyed a lot of crops in Florida, and production went down 51%, and that is the lowest output of production since the 1930s. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. What do I think personally about all of this? Do not worry about a single thing on here, okay? The main concern I would have would be the formula. Babies need formula, and there is not very many substitutions for that. If my child was taking formula, that's one thing I would be very mindful of, but I would not panic buy any of this at all. Everything on this list, in the stores, they have it. That doesn't mean that in a couple months they're not, because that's how shortages work. It's a slinky effect, and we're good, and it finally catches up with us, and we're hit really hard. This is my opinion on all of this. Chickpeas, this is my opinion, we don't eat chickpeas that often, maybe twice a year. I know there are some diets where people have chickpeas a lot. And if you're one of those people, what I would say is to just buy an extra bag once a week or an extra can and put it aside. Just one extra is what I would say do. And if worse comes to worse, you can substitute that with something else. Wheat products, same thing as chickpeas. If you're really worried about the whole wheat shortage, I would say do the same thing. Buy you one extra a week. Do not panic buy, because that will put more strain on the supply chain. And I'm personally not going to stock up on wheat products any differently than I have before. This is just my opinion on it. But if you're really worried, you know, maybe buy you one extra a week or every other week just so you'll have it. Aluminum, so we use aluminum in canned foods. And I have seen where it's just, you know, it's not as full as it used to be. Yes. So, my opinion on the aluminum situation, because that's where most of our canned food comes from, I would say $5 pantry stock ups. You do that once a week, and if you're worried about that, buy you some canned food, and not much, just maybe $5 worth a week, every other week. Just put it aside for just in case. Another thing, if you have space to grow a garden this spring and summer, I would say do that. It's not very hard, it's very easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it, okay? Because I'm not that great at a lot of things, so it's really easy. You just need some dirt, water, and some seeds and a little sunlight, and you'll be good. If you live in an apartment and you do not have access to grow your own veggies and things like that, what I would say is to try to find a local farmer, a farmer's market, produce stands on the side of the road. Fresh is really good. You can blanch it and you can freeze it. Also, it's an aluminum shortage, not a veggie shortage. So you can still, if this happens, if there's an aluminum shortage like they're saying, you can still get frozen veggies. So you'll still have access to stuff like that. And if you do find a farmer or a produce stand, you can definitely get you a pressure canner or a water bath canner, and you can try to can your own foods. If you do veggies, you'll need a pressure canner because it's low acid foods, and you need a pressure canner for that. But if you do tomatoes or pickled anything, you can use a water bath canner. So that would be my advice on the aluminum situation. Pet food, I don't know about that pet food, to be honest with you. I don't have dogs and I don't have cats, and I've never really had them because we've never been able to have those because Ryder is allergic. I'm not an expert on what animals can eat. I have no idea. I know that they can't eat table scraps. It's not good for them. So I would do the pet food like I would do the chickpeas and the wheat products. When I see a pallet of dog food or cat food, I would just buy an extra bag when I can and just put it aside. Formula. That would be my main concern is formula. But until you start seeing those shelves dwindle down like they did last formula shortage, I wouldn't even worry about it. Back in the day, some people might not like that I say this, but it's fine, I don't care. Back in the day, they didn't use formula. They didn't use powdered formula. If mothers couldn't breastfeed, they would literally write down a recipe for mothers to make milk for the babies. I remember my mama told me that she used pet milk in the can to feed her kids when she couldn't breastfeed. And it worked. They're alive. So there are always ways around that. You just have to be comfortable with it. You have to talk to your pediatrician to see what they say. That is if there's a shortage and you have no other way of getting it. But until those shelves start dwindling down, I wouldn't worry about it. That just causes too much stress on you. And you are a mother raising an infant. That's enough stress as it is. So just take it day by day. And if you're uncomfortable with that, just buy you an extra can, like once or twice a month, and put it aside so you'll have it. Mayonnaise, okay, this is my opinion on the whole mayonnaise thing. I would not worry about it at all. You can do without mayonnaise. It's not that serious. And if it's become so expensive and you absolutely have to have it, get veganese or just mayo. It's just as good. It's story time. So I really like the veganese and the just mayo. And for a long time, I only bought just mayo. And Dusty was one of those people who was really picky about their mayonnaise. He only wanted JFG mayonnaise. But what I did, I washed out the JFG jar and I would put the just mayo in it. He could not tell a single difference. After a couple of months of doing that, I told him, and now he's not picky about mayonnaise anymore because he realized it was just in his head. But there are some people who have to have mayonnaise on their sandwiches. And I know a lot of pasta salads or potato salad is made with mayonnaise. I would say just switch to veganese or just mayo. It's egg-free. They're saying that the prices are going up and the shortages are happening because of the eggs. So if there's not eggs in it, it'll be fine. And I know a lot of people see vegan and they're like, ew. It's actually really not bad. I prefer veganese. It's actually pretty good. Can't tell a single difference. It's really good on a sandwich with some lettuce and tomato. That's it. Bomb.com. Okay, the lettuce situation I have something about this lettuce. Okay, this is my opinion on this lettuce. Lettuce is the easiest thing to grow. Easiest thing to grow. You don't even have to bury the seeds. You can just have a mound of dirt, sprinkle the seeds, and just rub your hand over it, put some water on it, and it'll grow. It is the easiest thing to grow. Even if you live in an apartment, you can grow lettuce. So this is what you do. You get your little planter and you sit it on a windowsill, or sit it on a table next to a window if you don't have a windowsill. You plant your seeds and you water them and you let them just get the sunlight, and you will have lettuce in 2 to 3 weeks. I love lettuce. I love to have salads. Salads are one of my favorite things. We love wraps. So this spring and summer, I want to grow our own lettuce. I usually grow lettuce anyways, but I'm going to grow more this year because I want to just rely solely on what I grow for our lettuce. So if you're like me and you love lettuce, grow it. You can do it. Even in an apartment, you can grow it. And if you have a balcony on your apartment or a little porch, that's good too. You can get the little felt fabric planters. Girl, it'll work great. Beef, I wouldn't worry about beef. Well, for one, it doesn't look like there's a shortage yet. But for two, personally for us, we could do without beef. We really like a lot of vegetarian recipes, and not because we're against meat eating, it's just because we like it. And I could always find something to substitute the beef that we're missing. But I do know there's a lot of people that have to have that meat or the beef with their meals. So if you are one of those people that doesn't want to go without your beef, I would say try to find a few friends, family members, and try to go in on a cow. And you all could like divide it up. You get 4 people and each of you get 1/4 of a cow. And the cost would be so low because you're splitting it, and you're getting a good deal on the meat because you're buying a whole cow. I would say do that if you can afford it. Slowly save up over time. But if you can't afford it, just the same as everything else. You see an extra 1 week, just buy an extra, throw it in the freezer. Or you can can it if you have a pressure canner. I can my own ground beef and it's bomb.com. Callan actually prefers the canned ground beef over the fresh. Don't knock it till you try it. I know it sounds really weird, but I promise it's really good. Orange juice, that's another thing. I won't worry about it. I mean, do we need orange juice all the time? I don't drink it all the time. Some people may drink it every day because it's their thing, but for us, we only have it a few times a year. It gives me heartburn. If I was one of those people that have to have it every day or a few times a week, I would, you know, the little concentrated frozen tubes, I would probably buy those, like maybe 1 extra a week, and put it in the freezer or deep freezer. That's probably what I would do. I will put right here from the most worrisome to the least worrisome, where I personally think all of them fall. I wanted to talk to you guys about this because I have seen a lot of people sharing on social media, posts, videos, articles, and it's really concerning. I don't want people to be afraid. I don't want people to have that fear that they're going to do without. It is scary, but this is nothing we can't get through. Humans persevere all throughout history. Just look at the people from wartime, the Great Depression. There was a lack of funds, lack of food, shortages everywhere. And they came out stronger and more knowledgeable. So if we have to go through something, it's going to be okay. It might be hard while we're in it, and we might be like, I cannot wait till things are back to normal. You will come out a better person, stronger, more knowledgeable, and that's a good thing. There's nothing you can't get through. It'll be fine. Don't even worry about it. If you see these articles or videos, be mindful of what they're saying. Don't take it to heart. Just consider it and try not to let the fear take over you. I mean, I'm not saying turn your eye to it and don't pay any attention to it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't let that fear overtake you, because it'll be fine. We will get through it. It'll be okay. Enough of my babbling. I just wanted to talk to you guys for a minute about the shortages I keep hearing about. And remember, as always, stay positive, stay kind, be happy, and don't worry. It'll all be cool.